Hello, my name is Jim Clark, and I'm from Niagara Falls, New York. And for about as long as I can remember, I've had a passion for cinema. That passion has brought me here to Buff State. This is the next step of my journey. The first film that I ever seen, and it was the first one that really had an impact on me, was Back to the Future. When I was little, I hijacked my dad's VHS copy and I watched it repeatedly. It was the first time that I ever experienced the magic a film could offer. And it had me hooked. Not long after I got hooked on that, I discovered the movie theater. And the first film that I ever seen in theaters was Tim Burton's Batman in 1989. Up until then, the only Batman that I knew had existed in the comic books or in the form of Adam West, which, as you know, is nothing like what we got in the Tim Burton movie. Seeing it on the big screen at such a young age, it gave me the feeling that Batman could be a real person. And even now, in my older age, the fact that that movie had the power to do that, that's something that's stuck with me. And it certainly wouldn't be the last time that I would go to the movies. As my interest grew, so did I. Around 15, 16 years old, I got a Blockbuster card. And, I started discovering new movies. The thing is, back then, we didn't have streaming. So the best way to find a movie on a Saturday night was to go out to a rental place. And you would walk down these seemingly endless corridors with endless titles to pick from. It was awesome. And it was one of my favorite things to do. You don't quite get the feeling from Netflix as you did from Blockbuster. One of the films that I discovered there was Dawn of the Dead. And that would introduce me to the works of George A. Romero, who turned out to be my favorite director. The film itself captivated my imagination for the simple fact that even though there were all these threats on the outside trying to get in and to hurt the people in the movie, they got to live in a mall. And during the time when malls were at their peak, that would have been the coolest thing in the world. Maybe not now, because they're dead. Malls are almost all closed. But back then, they were like paradise. Anything and everything you could ever want was right there. And the people in the movie were lucky because they had all that. Digging around in the horror section during my adolescence, I discovered that the horror genre was my favorite. Anything with blood, guts, chainsaws, zombies, that was my jam. And films like Evil Dead, they were no exception. They covered all the bases. This last image represents me. I started a podcast with my wife last year where we talk about different films that I have in my collection. And this particular one, we were doing an episode on UHF starring Weird Al Yankovic. It was a really fun episode to do. It was very memorable. And to me, this particular image is powerful because it represents everything that I have done up to this point, and it represents everything that I will do going forward in the future. Thank you for taking time to watch my slideshow. Have a good day.